Crypto started crashing shortly after Bitcoin reached a new all time high, and now it looks like Dogecoin is having a pretty big collapse as well. But I'm just here to clear up some FUD, so let's get right into it. It looks like the main reason why the crypto market might be down is actually because it looks like there's some FUD around Facebook and Instagram being down. And I don't really think that this is significant enough to send the market down, but it is really interesting timing. I think that actually the reason why we're down is because Bitcoin reached an all time high. It actually got over $69,000, but I think people probably had a bunch of automatic sell orders right there, and that just triggered a sell off. But now that Bitcoin has all of these ETFs and BlackRock is scooping up as much as they can, all of those people who had those automatic sell orders are just selling their cryptocurrency to BlackRock basically, and they're probably going to send this thing back up pretty quickly. Dogecoin did reach a pretty good significant high. It actually hit the price target that I was looking for and a little bit higher than that. You can see that it had this bull flag right here, which if you take the um the flagpole and then you extend it from the breakout point, you can see that we pretty much just wicked above that price target there. And then whenever Bitcoin started selling off, Dogecoin has had a collapse of about 25%. Oh, actually, now it's down about 36%. But just a couple of days ago, while we were ripping, people were probably looking for some kind of a sell off like this so that they could accumulate. And now that we are getting this sell off, don't be scared. It's probably time to buy the dip. I'm not saying that this thing can't go any lower, but as you can see, this is a level that we have turned into support in the past. And hopefully, it's going to hold up now and we can continue to the upside. Here you can see we have the Bollinger Bands, and while the median line is curving down pretty quickly, usually we're going to whenever we find a bottom here, we're going to go up and at least retest the red line, or at least if we can break above the red line, then we might actually go back to the top of the bands. If we don't make a lower low here, though, it looks like maybe we do have a possible bullish divergence. It's not very big right now, so if we go pretty much any lower, that won't be there anymore. But hopefully it's going to hold up, and then maybe we can find a floor here and continue back to the upside. We have been ripping pretty hard though, and it's just like I said in my video yesterday. I think uh, we're pretty much overdue for a pullback, and a pullback of like more than 20% is pretty much to be expected in bull markets. But whenever we're ripping like this, any dip is a great buying opportunity, and we're probably going to be going and continuing higher whenever we do finally find a floor. Because, like I said earlier, Bitcoin did reach a new all time high. Whenever it can actually confirm being an all time high, that's whenever we're in price discovery, and I think that's when we're going to get ripping again. Here we have an article by the Street Crypto, and they're talking about how Bitcoin reached a new all time high, and apparently some analysts are projecting the next new all time high, which I guess maybe the top of the market. I'm not sure. I haven't read the article yet. It says analysts have shared projections that see the next leg reaching as high as 150,000 this year and 500,000 in the next 5 years. That's pretty significant, especially for this to happen this year. But since we've actually reached the all time high before the halving, I'm not sure if we're going to see as long of a bull market as we saw last time. I think it could, I mean, maybe it could just go forever, really. Like, that's what people always say, but we've never had institutions and countries and all of these, the biggest asset managers in the world buying into cryptocurrency. So, like I've said in the past, whenever this thing reaches mainstream adoption, we're probably going to be seeing a breakout from the the pattern that we've basically been in for the whole existence of Bitcoin. Man, my lines keep moving around. Uh, anyway, as you can see, we've been stuck in this like descending parabola pretty much for a while, or since the existence of Bitcoin. And I think that either we're going to see like a leveling off here and maybe like a lack of volatility moving forward because BlackRock and these other institutions will be manipulating the market, or we're going to be seeing some kind of a big explosion out of this trend line, and who knows where it's going to go from there. It's kind of like the adoption of the internet. For a while, it kind of just it seemed big. Like in retrospect, it wasn't anything though, because whenever it did reach mainstream adoption, it kind of hit this S curve and went straight up from there. Maybe we're going to be seeing something again like that for Bitcoin, but this is, and if it's going to happen, I think it's probably going to happen in this bull market because, like I said, we've never had ETFs before. And if it's going to hit some kind of a parabola like that, I think that the biggest asset managers in the world are the ones that are going to make it happen. If Bitcoin can find a floor and cryptocurrency can continue higher, then we might actually be seeing a decoupling from the stock market because, as you can see, according to this article on Yahoo Finance, the stock market today has led market slides as Bitcoin has touched new records. It looks like the stock market has been pulling back from its record highs as uncertainty over the interest rate cuts and the shakeup of the Magnificent Seven stocks brought a note of wariness to the market. I don't know if this is going to continue, but a lot of people have been talking about a possible melt up. And if you go look at the NVIDIA chart, it does look pretty parabolic. I don't know how it can actually get any more steep than what it is. I thought I had it over here. Guess not. This is a logarithmic chart. If I put it on linear, then you can't really get too much more straight up than that, honestly. So maybe it's going to have a pullback, but that's another thing. No one knows what's going to happen with AI because this is some new technology. So this thing could just continue to go straight up forever. And with the convergence of this and cryptocurrency technology maturing, who knows what's going to happen? Also, they say that there's now every 100 days there's $1 trillion added to the national debt. So like in dollar terms, this thing can just go up and to the right forever to infinity, like Michael Saylor says. But but what's the dollar going to be worth if you ever cash out? Nobody really knows. But I think that in the long run, this little pullback that we've seen this morning is not going to be anything, honestly. Especially if they just keep printing money the way that they've been doing. There's not any stopping Bitcoin. And Dogecoin is also going to be definitely benefiting from this situation. We just got to wait for Bitcoin to continue to the upside as well. Dogecoin is a lot more volatile, though, than Bitcoin. And I think it represents a great opportunity for quicker gains. But like with anything else, there is a little bit more risk, and you pretty much just have to weigh the risk to reward. Dogecoin was up like 100% in the past week, but now it is down a lot more than what Bitcoin has seen, with it being down at the most about 38%, and Bitcoin only being down at the very most 14%, but it's only down 10% now. So hopefully Bitcoin is finding a floor right here, and this was just a flash crash, and maybe we can continue back to the upside. But I guess time is only going to tell. And like I said, though, it's just going to represent a great buying opportunity in the grand scheme of things because there's just no stopping this technology. Good to see you guys in the chat. Michael, how's it going? Cheers, Flynn. Hoot Johnson. It's going to keep running. I believe so too. I mean, it could continue running to the downside, but I think it's going to hit a floor here I mean, it probably won't continue too much lower than where it's at now, but it could actually go sideways and maybe even retest the low that it already did before going back up. Whenever it's making big moves like this, it's kind of hard to do technical analysis because it'll just kind of lie to you every now and then and keep just running to the upside. And there's just so much movement that it's not really putting any like patterns in exactly. You can just look for like a bearish divergence or bullish divergence or something, and maybe look at the MACD on different time frames to see if it's going to be curving back to the upside. But even these Bollinger Bands aren't very reliable right now because, as you can see, we went to the bottom of the range and then just kept pushing it down. The economy is doing good because there's a dim president? You mean because they just keep printing money? Like they're just spending and trying to buy votes? I don't understand how a Democrat president is making the economy good. Maybe as far as GDP and the numbers, but aren't you guys struggling out there? I mean, I think everybody else is, maybe not people in crypto right now, but I don't think the economy is doing good at all. It was doing a lot better before we got this president. But none of that really matters because either way, if there's a Republican or a Democrat, it's the government that just keeps spending, and that's what's devaluing everything, or that's what's devaluing the dollar and raising everything else up in comparison. All assets are going to continue to rise because the government just can't stop spending. And now the deficit is, or the debt is so dang high that the interest rate, especially with the interest rates being so high, they have to print like $1 trillion a year just to cover the interest, let alone the amount that they're spending to run the government, which doesn't even produce anything in the first place. Define good. Are you looking for discounts on what, crypto? I'm always looking for discounts on crypto, of course. Anytime there's a discount, it's just like whenever you go buy something in the store. If you see something on sale, that's a good time to buy it, not whenever it's like way higher than it had. Like whenever eggs were like $30, just stop buying eggs and then they'll go back down. And whenever it goes back down, that's probably a good time to stock up, you know? Kennedy is the remedy. I don't know, maybe. He might be able to. He talks a good game, I guess. I just don't like his stance on the Second Amendment. But I guess it kind of makes sense since what happened to his uncle and his dad. You know. Speaking of the Second Amendment, that's really important if you're in cryptocurrency because if you're going to be your own bank, banks have security guards and police officers protecting them. How are you going to protect yourself from a wrench attack if you're not going to have Second Amendment rights? Um, Alexis says, so are we going to continue going up or is it over now? Well, I don't think it's over. I think that the bull market is actually just getting started, but we could actually continue to the downside, or like I said a while ago, we could retest this low that we already hit at about $60,000 for Bitcoin before continuing back to the upside. No one knows what's going to happen in the short term, but I think that, like it has been doing, it's just going to continue going up and to the right. This could actually be the bottom. It's a just jonesing. Hopefully, this is the bottom. This could be definitely, a lot of times in the bull market we'll see like a flash crash just like this, and it'll just put in a wick and then it'll rise back up and continue to the upside. So this could be what we're seeing right here, but then again, a lot of times these wicks have to be filled, so it could retest the bottom before it goes up again. So hopefully Facebook and Instagram and all of them get their stuff together and Coinbase doesn't go down again. And then maybe this thing can continue to the upside. But like I said, there was probably just a bunch of automatic sell orders, and those sell orders are just getting bought up right quickly by BlackRock. And I think as the liquidity dries up, it's probably just going to keep going back up. I guess that's all I've got for you, though. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, and you can follow me over at X at Only Good Crypto. Or actually, it's at Only Good Channel. My bad. Have a good day. I'll see you next time. Bye.